Is it the summer of Pablo Torre? It might be the summer of Pablo. Pablo right now is on an all-time tear, and now there are consequences for Pablo Torre's incredible podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out, and its reporting as the NFL executive director, Lloyd Howell. I'm so happy I didn't say Jerome Powell. It's a tricky time, especially with like there being a white Jerome and all. It's pretty crazy. But Lloyd Howell has stepped down. And all indications are this is because of the incredible reporting of Pablo Torre. That has real consequences, real reporting that it's actually quite refreshing to have respected journalism being done and to not have the person at the center of the turmoil say it's all fake and actually have shame about it and is actually held accountable and step down. I imagine this is because a ton of pressure from the NFLPA because, like a lot of people, like Pablo Torre's audience, they found out together.
I think it was a distraction thing, too. And he says that in the letter. There's probably a lot of calls, a lot of back-end conversations, a lot of what the hell is going on, and it didn't stop. It was like, the smoke and there's fire, and there just kept being more and more and more smoke. And there's a part of me that is like, hey, they had to stop the bleeding because it's probably going to continue to unravel, is my opinion. I mean, if I know Pablo over this last summer.
The summer of Pablo.
The summer of Pablo.
Yeah, I would expect there to be more, and Pablo already uncovered more. And when you get to the territory where the first one's not an outlier, and there's a second one, and then you have a resignation, you kind of think that there's more there. And now Don Payana's on the case. You have award-winning journalists probing and digging deeper. We saw what happened yesterday with the Wall Street Journal's reporting, and I would say that for those that don't know, Rupert Murdoch, notoriously pro-conservative icon, also owns the Wall Street Journal. I imagine they were prepared for it's all fake. I didn't write that letter, and there's probably more going there. We'll see. But certainly a huge transition point for the NFLPA. I wonder where they go from here, who they trust. I don't know if this is going to mean seismic change, but I guess the executive director stepping down, Hawk, is pretty seismic.
Yeah, it should be seismic. And I mean, look, I've been a player rep as a player. I come from a family of athletes that have been in the NFL and obviously a part of the PA. So my first exposure to the union was not just me as a football player, right? Like I have real family that I've seen the struggles and everything that goes into being an NFL player during, before, and after. Mm-hmm. So this is a topic, an organization that means quite a lot to me because I understand what happens to these players. And it's tough because it feels like, okay, it's a union for rich people. Yes, they make a lot of money early on.
Yeah.
But here's the issue.
It's a misnomer, right?
It is, because to get to that position, this takes almost every waking moment of your life and focus from the age of like 8 or 9 to put yourself in position to make this kind of money. And the average NFL career, as we know, is 3.3 years. Probably the average earnings is around $3 million. So take that and then stretch it over the amount of time from 21 to 65. And you'll see that it's actually not that different than normal people. Yeah, you can go get a job afterwards, but I am telling you, it is hard to be both an elite level NFL player and expert at something else right out of football.
It's why you guys face such an uphill battle every time there's a work stoppage.
Absolutely.
Because you got one side that has all the money, that has generational wealth, can afford actually a season, even though it's a huge economy, can't afford a season not being played.
Yes.
Whereas the average NFL player has that 3-year lifespan that is trying to get to the point where maybe I can get to a second contract and set up generational wealth. And right now, if I have a work stoppage, I lose 25% of my athletic prime. You can't do that, and that's why there haven't been work stoppages really since before I was born.
It's tough. It's tough to put yourself in a position of leverage to actually get things that chip away. And not only that, the issues that are voted on or that are talked about are exclusively done with current players. Now, here's my issue with that. And it sounds like, oh, this is the old player who has an issue because now he's the old player. No, we all understand experience and time. With that comes wisdom. With that comes, man, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z different. A lot of the success that I've had post-NFL career, even during my NFL career off the field, is not because I'm smarter than anybody. No, it's because, like I told you, I had family that said, hey, I did it this way. this was right. I did these things. These were wrong. Do this, right? So I had the answers to the test. And for a lot of the current players, you're voting and you're discussing things and you're making decisions that don't have the experience that people who have gone through this and that are dealing with some of the voting that happened when they were players later on. I say that because when you have leadership, and here is the biggest issue and why this was the result and had to be the result. When you have leadership that is worried about positioning themselves, when you have leadership that have goals that put them in front of what the actual mission of the organization is, leadership that wants to make decisions in a vacuum without considering the opinions and how it affects everybody else, those are all symptoms of bad leadership. And you know what comes with bad leadership? Bad results, right? And that is not just Lloyd Howe. That is any of them. So that is my issue, and that is why this needed to happen. And I'm hoping going forward they put somebody in that seat who understands the mission that they're fighting for and is tied to it more than just this is a great job that pays $3+ million.
So with the collusion and then the ensuing cover-up, is there a chance here that Howell was acting in the best interest, some sort of rationalization for his behavior, or is he just fully corrupt and just in the pocket of the NFL?
Yeah.
And if so, what are the lessons here for the NFLPA moving forward to make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
I will not say that he was fully corrupt. I won't even say anybody who was a part of the decision to keep these things under wraps until Pablo blew the top off didn't have the in their mind what was the best interest.
Yeah, that's what I want to seize
of
on.
the union.
Like what would be the rationalization? Like, let's bury this because it serves the interest of our union. I'm struggling to wrap my head around. Those are not necessarily bad people. You can find plenty of people that say good things about Treader and Howell. So what was the rationalization? I find it hard to believe that it was just all sinister. Let's just help the people that we're supposed to be representing our union against. Let's help them out. I'm sure there was some sort of rationalization there, and that's what's missing for me. What kind of possible benefit to the base were they exploring to help them do this?
Yeah, I can't speak to that because I'm not in those conversations, and I probably haven't talked with enough people to make that determination. But if I was to guess, I would say it was trying to avoid a situation just like this, not because you're being ousted or you have to resign or people are questioning your leadership, but because now you have the union questioning like their position, and there's going to be a bunch of opinions around it, and it basically is a divided group. Okay, we went in here, let's say we lost the running back issue that Pablo talked about. There was a collusion, and whatever the quid pro quo was to say, hey, we're all going to keep this buried. Well, maybe it's because we know what's coming up and we don't want the players so focused on questioning leadership that we lose our ability to come together and try to rally for what the big conversation is. That's just a guess.
Yeah.
Okay, but how do you fix it going forward? What I've always said to anybody who will listen at the union or at the PA since a player and beyond is what I just talked about. Like, I love to hear Dominique Foxworth talk about the PA union and the issues that face player unions, not because he's smart. Of course he's smart.
On site with him, by the way.
Harvard Business School, all those things.
Nah.
But more than that is he gives a damn. You know, like he gives a damn because it's connected to him. And he has friends that he's seen struggle. Does Dominique Foxworth need all the benefits that come with the PA? I'm sure at some point he's used them. He doesn't probably need them. I might not need him as much as the next guy, but it's not about me. And I understand that spectrum of players that you're representing and trying to put in a better situation than the players that came before us had it. And that connectivity is what draws me to it, right? There's generations, and we are all tied together. And I don't think the PA has done a good enough job of bringing all those generations together collectively, because the more information you have, the better decisions, the more informed those decisions are that arm you to make that progress.